fly.
What they say?
I'd rather not be under their
So there's no way that we would hurt you because we have you as a ward of the federal government. We're here to take care of you and ensure your safety and well-being until you can stand trial tomorrow.
Or next year.
Or next year. Because the 8th Amendment doesn't mean anything in the Constitution.
Okay, I don't know how well my
They already threw out the First Amendment and the Second
my
Amendment.
headphones are working,
But then they just decided to jump to the 8th Amendment.
but I've got
Because they didn't have anything better to do. We might get back to the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I got Dwight Lilly. Dwight Lilly's going to go live in a minute, but he's the host of a talk show here local in town, and he's the one that was talking with Neil and John Lamb the other day on that show.
Department of Nye County, Nevada,
and he's talking to
everything was kosher.
Gavin Seim.
No offenses that took place against Mr. Bundy, and I just wanted you guys to know what the scuttlebutt is out in the community here. The Pahrump Valley Times, the main local newspaper here, covered this in their paper. Yes, the sheriff investigated the incident. Everything was cool, nothing's wrong. So if this is what it's like in America, that you can be bound over for trial, the U.S. Marshals Service puts you in a federal facility, and then if you happen to drape a t-shirt over a bed rail while you're going to bed at night, they have the right, according to the sheriff here of Nye County, and I guess the federal government, to beat you up, strip you down, your clothes, put you in a 3x3 foot cell with your handcuffs so tight behind your back. You have to wiggle your fingers to keep your hands from going paralyzed. That's just normal treatment. Does this make sense to you?
It makes you think, right? Is this the sheriff of Nye County, or is it one of Kim Jong's friends in North Korea? Because what if this kind of behavior is okay, and this is America, then what is a third world country? How does it get worse than what we have here with the way our prisoners in this country are being?
Giving third world countries a bad name.
Exactly.
We have now degraded to the status, maybe a fourth or fifth
world. Because
world
most
country.
third world countries, I realize some of them do, but you start looking into the civil rights of a lot of what we call third world countries. A lot of times they have more civil rights than we do. Think about it. It's weird to me that we all run around with flags in this country and we light fireworks and we have parades and say go freedom. There's nothing in this country. Name one thing you can do without permission, a permit, a license, a fee. Everything we do is illegal in America.
You're going to have a license to continue breathing.
Exactly.
Within a couple of years.
In my state, they tried that.
And if the license expires, we're going to withdraw the auction.
In Washington State, they tried to make a tax on bicyclists because they put out more carbon monoxide emissions because they were breathing harder.
Yeah, well, see, this shows that, I have a website called downtherabbitholemedia.com, and the reason that's kind of a theme of two of my radio shows that I have that are worldwide, because we've literally fallen down the rabbit hole. Nothing makes sense anymore. Now, when you think of the prison state that we have here in the United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, we have something like 2.5 million people in prison, jails, what have you in this country. We are so up to speed on prisons and incarceration that we even have private prisons.
Yep,
yes, the capitalistic way got involved, says, you know what? Supply and demand. Let's fill the demand. The government can't build gulags fast enough, so we're going to we're going to put a stock offering out, get investors to come in, and we're going to build state-of-the-art incarceration centers.
If you have a nation where people invest in locking slaves in cages and torturing them, how do you have a justice system?
Well, there is no justice. There is a justice system, but now we have to get into define. Would you define what justice is to you?
Justice is life, liberty, and the property, and the equal defense thereof for everyone.
Well, that's justice. Well, I would continue on. If you were to violate my rights, then the justice system would be for your fellow citizens to get together and stop you from abusing my rights. Would that be correct?
Exactly. Because if I violate your life, liberty, or property,
I'm just telling you to stop doing what you're doing and explain to you, and then to tell you, listen, you have to make me whole.
Right.
But I'm not going to, it doesn't mean that we push you away in
Doesn't mean
prison.
we torture. And this is another thing, right? We say,
Torture you for doing that.
remember, have you ever watched a John Wayne movie? I know you have.
Yeah.
And so you watch an old movie, and it's like if guys had it out, you know, they'd punch each other in the nose, and they'd work it out, and they'd go have a beer, right? Now, if you punch somebody in the nose, and I'm not saying that we should punch each other in the nose, but now if you punch somebody in the nose, you get a felony charge. You can no longer vote. You no longer have gun rights. They can lock you in a prison and torture you. And the person that's wrong say, well, he got what he deserved because he punched me in the nose. And I'm like, well, go tell that to John Wayne because he would have punched you in the nose too.
Yeah, but you live in a country where playing tag and hide and go seek is now considered abuse of
Or
children.
selling lemonade. Your kid's selling lemonade.
You cannot do this anymore because this is considered abuse of children, and it might offend their, I guess, whatever it is that they finish. So, folks, you know, I'm still going live here. I didn't even notice the camera going here. I'm only up here because I'm a radio show host and a concerned citizen for what's going on here in my neighborhood. Right. And the reason that this drives me crazy is because this is considered the last free town in America. That's what Pahrump prides it for. This so forth. So if this goes on in Pahrump, Nevada, right. And you can see, I mean, there's flag. This is normal. We have Ray the Flag Man here that walks around with a flag on the street corner with the Constitution and Bill of Rights sandwich board on. This is where we are. That's the first thing I saw coming into town when I moved here. I thought this is a place for me. If this can happen to you, I'm going to tell you guys something right now. This is going to, guaranteed, happen to you where you live, Mississippi, New York State, if you happen to be in Canada, if you happen to be in California, Washington State, Montana, all across the land. If this is what can happen in Pahrump, Nevada, then it's coming to your home soon. So just beware. You know, a Lutheran minister back during World War II in Germany, when Hitler first took control in 1930, he thought the guy was a good guy. He was a charismatic preacher type person. And since Hitler wasn't doing anything to him, he supported him. And then he came out with a statement that he made a few years after the war. He said, you know, when they came for the socialists and communists, I didn't say anything because I wasn't one of them, and I supported them. When they came for the Jews, I wasn't one of them. So they didn't have any fight in that war, so I didn't say anything. When they came for the religious people, I didn't say anything because I was arrested and hauled off to prison for the remainder of the war. When they came for me, if I didn't say anything, there's nobody to speak up for me. Now, I paraphrase that purposely because that is where we're at, folks. If you're not going to stand up for people like Mr. Bundy, whether you agree with what his position was that got him into this situation or not, that is irrelevant. If you want this to happen to you, your children, your grandchildren, your brothers, your sisters, your ancestors, any other American, and I would say any other person in the world, then go ahead and say nothing. Just say, well, you know what? I'm not out in Pahrump, Nevada. I'm not on trial in a federal court, so I don't really have any reason to speak up. Think about it.
Right on.
You know, we had the sheriffs that came out here, and the last time I was out here, there was a little bit of a debate and bantering going on, which I think you were part of, Dave. And the sheriff, the deputy sheriff, said, well, I'm not here to debate, I'm not here to argue. Well, the fact of the matter is, as soon as you get a little bit above their head and start teaching the constitutional principles, that's what they say. They go, we're not here to argue, because they have no argument. But who are you going to talk to if you don't talk to the foot soldiers that are out there? But you can't really hardly get to anybody else. Now, one thing I want to say about the sheriff here, you know, she said there was no laws broken. She did an investigation. I would like to see her go in to a 3x3 shower stall, handcuffed for 13 hours. And if she can come out and say, that is legal, that is okay, that's not torture, then you know what, I'll give her some credibility. But if she can't, if she's not going to do that, as far as I'm concerned, she has no credibility. Because what's going on here is also a soft kill. A lot of people don't understand it. Devitalized food, okay? Small portions. And then the punishment, their immune systems start to drop out, they get suppressed, and then they put this punishment on them. And it's not a punishment it's not the same as somebody that's really healthy. Ammon and those guys have been in there going on a year and a half now. Okay, so they have been eating this garbage food, it's devitalized food. They've been stressed out. Now you put a man in a 3x3 stall for 13 hours handcuffed. Okay, that's going to do a lot more damage psychologically and physically than it would to somebody that's in a healthy condition. That's called a soft kill. And it takes place over a period of years. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, this prison is a prison for profit. They profit in human beings. They have there's a vested interest by the corporate shareholders and by the corporation to keep it filled. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they got contracts with the state to keep that thing filled. And so who's getting the kickbacks from all this stuff also? So the judges and everybody else is in on this. And the people that live here in Pahrump, if you don't think this can happen to you, you got another thing coming. All you got to do is get sideways with one of these BLM agents, one of these forest agents, or even one of the sheriffs here. Get sideways with them and see what happens, and see if you don't end up in the same place with the same exact problems and getting condemned by all your neighbors, you know, ostracized like you're a bad person, and you're not a bad person at all. Maybe you just slipped through the cracks. So, anyhow.
Anything to add?
About here on Saturday, let's have a barbecue and talk about it. Then we're going to do a march around the jail, and I think these guys said it pretty good. If you don't stand up for your neighbors' rights, there's not going to be any neighbors left to stand up for yours.
Right on. Well, that's about it. Anybody else got anything to add? Yeah. Well, this is Camp Cobra. We had a little rant session going on here. You got something to say?
Yeah, the state, these are private jails, and they're guaranteed a 95% occupancy. If they don't get it, then they sue the state for the money that's owed to them. Now, what happens, a private prison goes in and lobbies the congressmen and senators to make the longer terms on all the crimes, as they call it, because that keeps the people in jails longer, so they make more money. And I'm Ken from Michigan. I came all the way down because I believe in what these people are doing.
Well, this time around, every time I turn around, I keep on seeing you, so you're a regular with this.
Well, I was at the standoff at Bundy.
Yeah.
I was also in Burns, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
I was up there for the whole time I was down here.
Thanks for your help, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap. If anything else changes or anything like that, I'll let you guys know. And I just got a question for everybody. The wind is just crazy out here, and I got my new headphones on. I'm just wondering if people can hear the people that were talking and if the wind noise was really bad. So anyway, let you see some of this. And we got some people, and they're making a new jail. So we're gonna have two torture chambers, and there's the flags over there in my trailer. Well, that's a wrap. Later, people.